Greetings to you, our viewers. My name is Bertha Nherera, and I'm working with Participatory Ecological Land Use Management, Pelham, Zimbabwe. In this episode, we are going to talk about research and education in My Food is African campaign. My Food is African campaign is a continental campaign that is being undertaken in 13 African countries, that is including Zimbabwe, and it's being undertaken under the auspices of Alliance for Food Sovereignty in Africa. The main objective of My Food is African is really to raise awareness on the value of our traditional seeds, food, dishes and cuisines. And on raising awareness, we really want to go an extra mile where the awareness is translated into practice. Someone can be aware that it's good to eat maybe finger millet, but in terms of practice, they are not practicing it. So under My Food is African, we want to see that the practice. So today I'm joined by Miss Linda Kabaira. If you can introduce yourself.
Thank you, Nherera. So my name is Linda Kabaira. I work with Scope Zimbabwe as a country coordinator. Scope Zimbabwe is an organization that is working with young people towards sustainable lifestyles, living and education. Thank you.
Okay. So Linda, today I would want you to just share with us why you think research is important and it's relevant as we talk about our traditional foods, as we talk about the My Food is African campaign.
Thank you very much, Nherera. I think you are aware that young people look for things that are enticing, things that are exciting, and as far as our African food is concerned, there seem to be a gap around what exactly should they be eating the African food. You may understand a lot how the benefits are, but they would want to know what sort of nutritional values are associated and the health benefits. So until such information is brought to light, it might be very difficult for young people to actually appreciate the good things that are coming in our African food. Mm-hmm. So research plays a critical role in bringing the evidence that is needed for young people to actually take up or consume the African food. So we need research, we need evidence. We need it written down, we need the analysis, facts presented, why should we take finger millet over maize? Why should we take sorghum over spaghetti? Why should we take all the different African foods? The nuts, mutakura, the vegetables, the blackjack, the fruits, why matamba over an orange? So until we get to a time where we have evidence as to these are the nutritional benefits as it relates to the minerals, the vitamins that are there, the uptake might still remain very low.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Linda. I just wanted to find out what is your organization doing in the education sector regarding the traditional foods?
Thank you, Nherera. Like I highlighted earlier, our focus with young people is on transforming the education so that it becomes practical. So we are an organization that is focused on practical education. So we use what we call action pedagogies, the learning that helps young people to actually engage in what they are learning. So the work that we currently doing right now is transformative learning, where we get into schools and we transform the whole landscape so that they become productive zones. Then apart from them becoming productive zones, we have a campaign that we actually call Grow Your Own, Cook Your Own and Eat Your Own. So it starts from the productive phase where they actually learn how to produce food organically using locally available resources. Then we also take another step with them where we talk about the consumption. Why should they consume these things? How do they even cook them? So that they are aware of how the things are done. Then when we move forward, we talk about the consumption. So along those, we've also started embarking on a journey that we call participatory action research, where we are working with universities, University of Zimbabwe, Great Zimbabwe University, Reformed Church and University, Rhodes University, Ezekiel Good University. And the focus is basically about getting the evidence right, getting the solutions, making the practical aspects right. Why is rainwater harvesting using this way important? What are the benefits, so that the whole analysis actually comes alive? So that's the work that we're actually doing at the moment.
Okay. Are you able to give us like the impact, if there's any impact that you've already seen in the work that you're doing with, within the education sector?
Yes, I can actually do that. So currently we are working with 89 schools, and out of the 89 schools, I can tell you that a quarter of those, which could be around 20-25 schools, are actually able to feed their learners from their own production.
Wonderful.
And when we're talking feeding, we are not just talking about feeding anyhow, but we're talking about food that is balanced, food which includes the different elements, because when we're talking production, the agroecological way, we're talking about the right nutrients being there, we're talking about the different colors. So it's them growing the cereals, it's them growing the legumes, it's them growing the vegetables, it's them growing the fruits.
Okay.
So we are supporting the government school-based feeding program and the school health and nutrition policy, where learners are supposed to get at least one hot meal a day. So the 25 schools that I spoke about can actually have learners have a meal at least 3 days in a week, which is a hot meal, which is balanced and from their own production.
Okay, wonderful. We have come to the end of our first segment, where we were really looking at the importance of research, providing evidence that is required, looking at also the education, what has been the impact, and we have been seeing that it has been powerful. Some schools are able to actually provide their own food. Thank you very much. Welcome back to our second segment, where we are discussing about the importance of research and education, as we discuss, as we campaign for My Food is African. So today I'm discussing with Linda, and we are saying, what support can our educational institutions and policymakers render in order to ensure that the progress that has been made so far is not lost?
Thank you very much, Nherera. I think this takes us back to the question of how much research has been there and what evidence has been built so far. So like I said, we've already started the journey of participatory action research, where we believe that the schools, the communities that are involved in growing and the consumption of food are part of finding solutions. So in this process, what we are actually looking forward to is more researchers, more academics, more policymakers coming into this space, so that this process can be fully supported. I'm sure this whole campaign is not just a campaign for the sake of it, but we have standing issues that we're sitting on as a nation, where we're talking 30-35% of our young people suffering standing. So we need some of these things addressed. And these things cannot be surely addressed without the evidence of what exactly is in our African food. So we want researchers to come on board, so that this evidence is actually unearthed on our food. So that even as we speak to young people, which is a group that we work with a lot, they are convinced in terms of the nutrition and the health benefits of this food. So this is my call, that more researchers should join. We have many universities in Zimbabwe. We want these universities on board. We have the policymakers. We don't want them to stand by, but also come on board. This is kind of a politics of some sort, where we find government institutions supporting a lot more other activities around food. So we want them to come on board and support this initiative that has started.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Linda. Coming to you working with schools, you are working with schools, how best do you think traditional foods can be promoted in schools?
Yeah, they are already promoted. I talked about the campaign Grow Your Own, Cook Your Own, and Eat Your Own.
Maybe escalating.
Yes, so escalating that.
Yes.
And We are also still having issues around seeds because there is no way you can talk growing without seeds. So we got to a point where at some point when we wanted to really grow the local foods, the seeds were not so much available. So we would also want to probably work with the gene bank, all these other institutions to come on board so that at least seeds are available and be able to grow more, and that the young people can actually fully engage as a nation. We're only working with 89 schools, and that's just a drop. So escalating the number of schools is another way that we can actually make this work. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that. I would like also to just share some recommendations that I got from another workshop where they were recommending that maybe on certain days of the week, maybe school children can actually go with some traditional foods in their lunch boxes, because some were saying there's a tendency for school children, some of them, to laugh if someone brings traditional food. So maybe it's an area that can be looked at in the education sector. Also, I wanted to find out from you, how best do you think we can also promote publicity about the traditional food in the education sector, and also even maybe issues about research?
Maybe engaging the young people. I'm sure they know what they expect, and they also have some experiences around this. I'm imagining even the issues around kids laughing at each other, and the ones that are bringing them. We move into these schools, mostly in the rural areas. They still have mangai, mutakura in there as part of their lunch boxes. And maybe the only missing link is for them to understand that this is not a shameful thing, but there is actually a good content, good nutrition in these foods. So coming up with pamphlets that speak about what exactly is in the food, this actually collaborates and links with the research that we're talking about. So once these things are out, they could be published into small flyers. They could also come in as hashtags. When we started this campaign, Grow Your Own, it was a hashtag, Grow Your Own, Cook Your Own, Eat Your Own. And we found young people getting hype with it. So maybe coming up with these hashtags, technology, it's very associated with the young people. They find this very exciting. So coming up with these short, catchy phrases and stuff would be very good. I don't know, the television could be another way. The radio, coming up with jinkos, coming up with competitions for young people, coming up with competitions. We've done that together under the same My Food is African, where they actually come together, cook the food in a competition format of some sort. Then maybe some of them, they'll be testing it for the first time. And once they test it, who knows, they might be excited. So this is another way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Ms. Kabaira. Any parting words that you would want to share with the audience?
Yeah, maybe for me, this is not just supposed to end in schools. This should be a thing for everyone. We, as an organization, we came up with a book. It doesn't have a lot in terms of the recipes, but we came up with a book, Seeding Local Cultures book, which has which kind of directs or helps people learn how to grow their own food, and at the end of the cooking as well. So I feel maybe if this book can get into some of the places out of the education institutes, and even these dialogues can be taken out of the spaces where we are in the schools, it would also help. Even in homes where people talk about these things and ground young people, because the young people is actually the face of our present and our future. So if we leave things for a certain time when this generation is gone, it might be too late. So let's engage, let's talk about this. Our food is good. We are Africans, our food is African.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much, our viewers. We come to the end of our second segment, where we were focusing on looking at the importance of education, looking at the importance of policies in the education sector. We're looking at the importance of research, providing evidence that is required as we promote our traditional foods in My Food is African campaign. Thank you very much.